Hi, I am Astha and I am here to talk about one of my favorite books, The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. I was introduced to this book in 2021 by a very dear friend, and since then it has become something that I go back to read and reread over and over again because I find newer and newer meanings of love, what it means to love someone, what it means to be in love, what it means to surrender in love, what it means to accept love as a part of your life. And once you do that, I have realized that you cannot go back. Love is love is a choice that you make, that you have to stand by, because one by one, everything in your life will ask, does love live here? Does love exist here? And one by one, you will have to reflect and bring love where it did not exist previously, or enlighten those parts of your life where love did exist. Decorate them with more love. So today, while I do have a wish to do all the 40 rules of Shams, the 40 rules of love by Shams at the Breezy, who is a main character in the book and is also, is also said to have been Rumi's spiritual companion. It was said that before meeting Shams, Rumi was already an established Maulana or a teacher in Konya, where he was born and raised, and having led a somewhat sheltered life as the son of a Maulana, Rumi followed his father's footsteps and became a very popular preacher. He was loved and beloved to all, and he was considered to be very knowledgeable. But it is said that once Shams entered his life, Rumi made the transition from an intellectual to a poet, from a Maulana to a Sufi, from a beloved to the lover. And Shams, the character in this book, is said to have a list of 40 rules that he lives by, which, like I said, I would like to do a longer video on each of those rules. But today, I wanted to talk about this chapter. So Elif Shafak is one of my current favorite authors. She has a way of writing that is so simple, yet so poetic. It is as if she knew your thoughts and knew those feelings that you were working with, those things that you could not name, and she gave them a description. Like she just picked up something from your thoughts and she gave it form. She has this very beautiful way of writing, and in most of her books now I've seen that every chapter is like a point of view, a POV. And the chapter that I am going to talk about today, one of my favorite, is the point of view of Rumi himself. And he is talking about the 7 stages to the path of truth, or the 7 maqamaat every soul has to go through in order to attain oneness. Oneness with love, oneness with their God, oneness with their universe, oneness with their self. Oneness is a concept that is spoken often in many religions, in many mythologies. It is the same thing that we see across human thought that has become a process. The basis of each human thought that tries to encapsulate the universe and the human living condition, the basis is love and oneness. Sometimes the oneness can take the form of being one with everything, that you are nothing. Sometimes it is oneness with your God, which is prayer and meditation and reflection. Sometimes it is oneness with yourself, which is self-love, which is self-joy, which is the true joy of creation. So there are many ways you can achieve this oneness. But we are not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the 7 stages on the path to truth that Rumi talks about in this book. The first stage is the depraved nafs. Nafs, whenever I use this word, nafs is the Turkish, the Urdu word for ego. It is the word that means our surety, our convictions, our beliefs that we feel can never change. Nafs is a subtle thing. Nafs is not all bad. And nafs, through nafs, do we understand these 7 maqamaats, the 7 stages on the path to truth. The first stage is the depraved nafs, the most primitive and common state of being, when the soul is entrapped in worldly pursuits. Most human beings are stuck here, struggling and suffering in the service of their baser selves, but always holding others responsible for their continuing unhappiness. Let's read that again. Depraved nafs, depraved ego, is the most primitive and common state of being when the soul is entrapped in worldly pursuits. Worldly pursuits are everything around you. The desire to get a promotion, get a new job, the desire to change your hair, the desire to change your personality, the desire to know more, the desire to know less, the desire to even love someone can be a worldly pursuit when it has the basis of forgetfulness, wanting to forget what is. So when you're entrapped in worldly pursuits, you cannot see yourself for who you are. You cannot see your surroundings for what they are. Most human beings are stuck here. Most of us are stuck here, struggling and suffering in the service of their baser selves, but always holding others responsible for their continuing happiness. Here, others are not just people. They are circumstances. They are personified pasts. They are memories. They are people. Let's say that you are stuck in a place that you don't want to be stuck. Let's take a generic example and say you're in a job where you get absolutely no joy. Every day going to office requires performance. Every day coming back from office requires rest. You find yourself exhausted daily, but you keep telling yourself, this is normal, this is okay. And every night before you go to sleep, you look for different ways you could be happy. Sometimes there are different jobs, sometimes it's looking for different partners, sometimes it's shopping, sometimes it's reading about other people's lives. And sometimes it is deluding yourself into thinking that everything is okay and you are fine and this is normal. So whenever you feel that I'd like to change, I wish I could change my situation, when you say I wish I could change, you are putting yourself as helpless. And when you put yourself as helpless, there is somebody who has taken your helpfulness, yourself, your accountability away from you. And when that thing, that person, that situation is outside you, or if I had money, I would have left this job. If I was financially independent, I would have left my partner. If I had choice, I would have cut my hair, I would have done this, I would have done that. If you find yourself often thinking about, if only this would have happened, I could have done this. You are in the first stage on the path to truth. That is called the depraved nafs, where we find everybody and everything around us as a big common factor into who we are. And often it is true. You are your upbringing, you are your parents, you are your grandparents, you are your trauma, you are your past experiences, you are every one of these things and so much more. But you have agency, you have power, you have choice, you have what it takes to change where you are. When you feel that everything is against you, it's yourself that doesn't want to change where it is because it gets some satisfaction in being where it is. Sometimes it's easier for us to be helpless because that means that we can continue being sad. And we have to put in no effort to change that. That is the first stage. That is called the depraved nafs. I would come to the second stage very soon. But for today, for this video, I want you to go back and write down if only statements. I would have done this if this would change. I would leave my job and start a comedy career only if I had a rich family and some financial backing. I would immediately cut my hair only if my dad or my husband or my family or my mother or my sister wouldn't make such a big deal about it. I would leave this relationship if only the society would accept me, if only I had the courage, if only people would not make faces at me, would not throw names at me, if only I had some familial support, if only I had some financial support, if only. So let us look at how our nafs is stuck in the depraved state by shining a light of love. Let's not judge ourselves. Let's not accuse ourselves. Let's just shine a light of compassion. And in order to shine a light of compassion, all that you need to do is just simply write it down on a piece of paper and look at it. Just look at it. Don't do anything with it. Don't share it. Don't tear it. Don't burn it. Write down as many factors come to mind, as many statements come to mind, that in ways you would have changed your life if only you had the right kind of support. Let us find in how many ways are we here at the depraved nafs state. And let us see how much of us is stuck here. That is all. There is no other exercise. There is no judgment. There is no scoring. Just write it down. Just write all of it down and tell me what all came up. Tell me what feelings came up when you were writing this. Tell me, how did your body feel? Did it feel heavy? Did it feel light? Did you feel numb? Did you feel disconnected? Did you feel like I have no idea how these came about to be? So share with me how you felt when you made this list. Till then, until the next video and the next maqamaat, the next stage, have a good life, have a good time. Show yourself patience, compassion, and space. How do we show space? There. I'm here. There. I am here for you. There. I am here for you. Take a deep breath and relax. With that, I say farewell until the next time for the next stage.